Hello and welcome to the channel. Be sure to share, like, and comment down below. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button for daily videos on news and politics. GOP lawmaker POTUS expected to release Dem spin memo today. The Democrats have been in spin mode since the House Intel Committee released a damning FISA memo last Friday. The House minority penned a 10-page counter memo in order to refute the House majority FISA memo. Now on Monday, suspected leaker Representative Adam Schiff announced the House Intel Committee voted unanimously to release the Democrat spin memo. Fox News reporter John Roberts reports sources are telling him Schiff's spin memo purposely contains information pertaining to sources and methods which will force POTUS Trump to make redactions. This was done tactically to make Trump look like he's censoring the Dems since he made no changes to the Nunes memo. Now Schiff and the Dems are snakes. Representative Matt Gaetz confirmed there are sources and methods in the Dem junk memo that must be redacted before the document is released. Gaetz also said POTUS Trump is expected to release the junk memo Friday.
Expect the president to release the Democratic memo today. The one thing to keep in mind is that Republicans have been consistent fighting for transparency. Every Republican on the House Intelligence Committee voted to release the memo. Democrats have only been consistent in their partisanship. They voted to release their memo, but against allowing the American people to see the information collected by the majority staff. It's important to know I've read the Democratic memo. There are sources and methods that have been chalked in these pages drafted by Adam Schiff, and we need those redacted, just like sensitive information would have been redacted from the Republican memo, so that we don't put Americans at risk downrange.
You know, Congressman Gaetz, as we look at this, and even if we just sort of set the memos aside, the bottom line is the way that FISA looked at Americans and how it is possible for one political party to leverage its power up against the other by potentially using the FISA court and the FBI. What do we do about that? I mean, it doesn't even matter which memo went where. That's horrible.
It doesn't matter which memo, Harris, and it also doesn't matter which political party.
Right.
This should be an opportunity for bipartisanship. We never want to live in a country where cash at a political party is convertible into a government-sponsored warrant to spy on your political enemies. Democrats and Republicans will be in power in this country, and we've got an American concern to have reforms to this process with more transparency, more oversight, perhaps a more adversarial process in the FISA courts so that this never happens again to Republicans or Democrats.
You know, I want to scoot just from the memo, if I can, with the reporting on the second dossier now and what we know about that and how that kind of fits into this whole picture.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, here you have a circumstance where Democrats weren't just paying for the dossier. They were actually telling Christopher Steele and they were telling others what facts they wanted included in the dossier. That undermines its credibility. And by the way, it's a credibility that's already on shaky ground. The only way that the first dossier was validated was from a Yahoo News article written by or planted, I should say, by the very author of the dossier. And so you've got circular facts, circular logic, and proof that this is false information and should have never been presented before a FISA court.
The timing of this memo, it's been about a week. It went through the same process. Are we expecting it to be redacted when we see it? What do you know about that process? It could be as early as tomorrow. Well, Saturday's the deadline.
Yeah, I would expect that the memo would be released today, potentially early tomorrow, but there are going to have to be redactions. These aren't redactions for political reasons. We simply cannot disclose sources and methods of intelligence collection that we continue to use against our adversaries. And I think that the White House will be responsible in that respect. And at the end of the day, what credibility do the Democrats have to tell us that these are material political redactions? They said that the release of the Republican memo would be a national security catastrophe. That's obviously proven to be false, and it undermines their arguments. Absolutely.
You know what? I want to ask you about something, though, because I remember in the process, Democrats were able to make some different changes. I know they were called minor. I don't want to say punctuation because I really didn't see the original, so I don't know. But they were not like real big changes. Were you allowed to do the same thing as Republicans with their memo?
Well, we did not ask for any changes. We're simply trusting the White House to make redactions on national security sources and methods info. The changes to the Republican memo, I can assure you, like one of the changes was the movement of 2 commas.
Right.
Another merely changed an adjective in describing a person. So you're talking about very minor things that, by the way, Democrats aren't even talking about anymore. Remember when they were saying, oh, the Republicans are altering and changing the memo? Well, now that it's come out, it's obviously proven that we're putting the facts before the American people, and it shows how uncredible the Democrats on the Intelligence Committee are.
I'm just wondering if it speaks to your confidence that the Republicans didn't also stick a finger in with that same grammatical or punctuation pin and say, let's change this, because the Democrat one is 10 pages long. It's more than twice as long as yours.
Well, sure. It's largely the footnotes in the Democrat memo that I suspect reveal sources and methods that will have to be removed. So many of the claims in the Democrat memo, we're welcome to debate those and have them into the public square. But the Democrat memo is heavily footnoted, and some of those footnotes, if they were released, could put Americans' lives in jeopardy. And that's why we just need some basic, simple redactions. And I suspect the president will do that today.
All right. And what will be the next step? Once the American public has all this information, what do you do then?
Well, my fear is that this could become the next Benghazi, where Congress finds a bunch of bad facts and exposes them, but then no one faces any consequences. That's why dozens of Republicans have joined me in a call for a second special counsel. We need Jeff Sessions to step up and really put people in charge who can investigate these abuses, because obviously, Harris, the Department of Justice and the FBI cannot investigate themselves. We need someone who's not a swamp creature to find out what happened and then hold people accountable.
The Democrat spin memo is going through the same process the majority memo went through. The president has 5 days to release the document once the committee votes for its release. Saturday is the deadline. Be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below and tell me how you feel about this report. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.